The soccer ball hit Lily Martinez between her shoulder blades with enough force to snap her forward. The 10-year-old's leg brace twisted sickeningly as she went down, her small body crumpling onto the playground asphalt. Her crutch clattered away, spinning out of reach. Blood bloomed through the knee of her jeans. Victoria Ashford's laughter cut through the October air like shattered glass. "Oops," Victoria said, her voice carrying that particular cruelty only wealthy children seem to master. "Didn't see you there, charity case." Behind the tinted windows of a black SUV parked across the street, a man with steel-gray eyes documented everything. Commander Jake Harrison had been watching for 3 weeks, waiting, building evidence, keeping a promise to a dead brother. He didn't know how deep this really went. Not yet. Before we continue, please subscribe to our channel and follow Lily's story to the very end. Leave a comment telling us your city. We want to see how far this message of hope and justice travels around the world. Lily had been at Riverside Academy for exactly 23 days when she realized nobody was going to help her. 23 days of accidents that weren't accidents. 23 days of laughter following her through marble hallways that smelled like money and furniture polish. 23 days of learning that when you're the scholarship kid with a dead father and a leg that doesn't work right, you're not really a person. You're a target. She picked herself up from the playground asphalt, ignoring the blood, ignoring Victoria's phone camera recording everything, ignoring the circle of 5th and 6th graders who watched with that particular blank expression that meant they'd learned not to see. "My father died for this country," Lily said quietly, her voice shaking but clear. "What has yours ever done?" Victoria's smile widened. She was 11 years old and already understood power in ways most adults never would. "My father owns this country, sweetie, including whatever hole they buried yours in." The slap came from nowhere. Lily's small hand connected with Victoria's perfect face before she even knew she was moving. The playground went silent. Victoria touched her cheek, her eyes going wide with something that looked almost like delight. "You're going to regret that," she whispered. "I'm going to destroy you." 8 months earlier. Captain David Martinez had exactly 4 minutes to live when he made Jake Harrison promise. The field hospital in Syria smelled like blood and disinfectant, and the particular desperation that comes when good men are dying for bad reasons. David's chest was wrapped in bandages that were already soaked through. The explosion had torn him apart from the inside. "Jake." David's hand found his friend's wrist, grip still strong despite everything. "Jake, listen to me." "Don't talk, brother. Medics are coming. You're going to be fine." "I'm dead, and we both know it." David coughed, blood flecking his lips. "Lily, my baby girl. She's going to Riverside Academy on scholarship. Full ride. I got her in before." He stopped, gasping. "Before this." "David, save your strength. Promise me." David's eyes locked onto Jake's, fierce with dying intensity. "Promise me you'll watch over her. Something's wrong here, Jake. This mission, the intelligence, it was all wrong. They set us up." "Who set us up?" "Ashford. Richard Ashford." David's voice was barely a whisper now. "I found something. Evidence. Sent it home. If anything happens to me, if they come for Lily..." "Nobody's coming for Lily. You're going to be fine. You're going to go home and watch her grow up and promise me, brother. Swear it. Swear on everything we've been through." Jake's vision blurred with tears he couldn't afford to shed. "I promise, David. I swear to God. I'll protect her Nobody touches her. Nobody. She's all I have. David's grip was weakening. She's everything. I know, brother. I know. David smiled then, peaceful somehow, despite the pain. Tell her I love her. Tell her to be brave. Tell her. The machines started screaming. Doctors rushed in. Jake was pulled away, David's blood still warm on his hands. The last thing he heard was the flatline. Present day. Jake had watched Lily for 3 weeks before making contact with anyone. That's how long it took to understand the pattern. Day 1. Victoria Ashford's group surrounded Lily in the cafeteria, knocked her lunch tray onto her lap, walked away laughing while Lily sat there covered in spaghetti sauce and shame. Day 3. Someone put superglue on Lily's locker handle. She was late to class trying to get it open, got detention, cried in the bathroom for 20 minutes. Day 7. Her backpack was thrown into the fountain. All her textbooks ruined. School made her pay for replacements from the emergency fund David had left her. Day 12. Victoria started the hashtag #CrippleCrawl, posted videos of Lily struggling upstairs, stumbling in the hallway, dropping books. 2 million views in 48 hours. Day 15. Someone left a note in Lily's locker. Your daddy died for nothing. You should have gone with him. That's when Jake knew this wasn't just bullying. This was systematic. This was orchestrated. This was war. Rachel Kim found Jake on day 18, sitting in his SUV across from the school, documenting another incident on his phone. She tapped on his window, waited while he considered whether to drive away or roll it down. He rolled it down. Commander Harrison, she said, we need to talk. Jake's hand moved toward the gun he kept under his seat. Who are you? Someone who knew David Martinez. Someone who knows what you're doing here. Rachel glanced around the parking lot, nervous. And someone who wants to help. I don't need help. Yes, you do. Because you don't know who you're really up against. Rachel pulled out her phone, showed him a photograph. This was taken 2 years ago at a military fundraiser. Recognize anyone? Jake's blood went cold. The photo showed David in his dress uniform, shaking hands with a silver-haired man in an expensive suit. Richard Ashford, Victoria's father. David was investigating Ashford, Rachel said quietly. Corporate espionage, weapons trafficking, things I can't talk about in a parking lot. He got close. Too close. 3 months later, he was dead in a training accident that makes no tactical sense to anyone who actually reads the mission brief. Who are you? Jake asked again. FBI. Embedded at this school for 6 months investigating Ashford's operation. But I'm being pulled off the case. My superiors say there's not enough evidence. Rachel's jaw tightened. Which is interesting, because I've documented 17 federal crimes, but apparently that's not enough when the suspect donates $50 million to the right political campaigns. Jake stared at her. Why are you telling me this? Because David Martinez was a good man who died trying to do the right thing. Because his daughter is being tortured by the child of the man who probably had him killed. And because I'm tired of watching bad people win. Rachel leaned closer. I can't do this officially anymore, but unofficially. I can help you protect that little girl and take down the son of a bitch who destroyed her family. What makes you think I'm trying to take him down? Maybe I'm just watching. Rachel smiled grimly. Commander, I've read your file. You don't watch. You act. And right now, Lily Martinez needs action more than she needs another witness who does nothing. Jake was quiet for a long moment. Then, "What do you know about the bullying? The systematic nature of it?" "That's the interesting part." Rachel pulled out a tablet, showed him screenshots of social media posts, school records, medical reports. Victoria Ashford has targeted exactly 7 students in the past 3 years. All scholarship kids, all from military families, all children of service members who were deployed to the Middle East in the past 5 years. That's not a coincidence. No, it's not. And it gets worse. 3 of those military parents are dead. Accidents, training incidents, 1 suicide that family members insist was actually murder. Rachel's voice dropped. Someone is systematically eliminating military personnel who might have seen something they shouldn't have. And then their children are being psychologically destroyed to ensure they can't or won't ask questions. Jake's hands tightened on the steering wheel. Lily's not just being bullied. She's being neutralized. Exactly. Break the child, silence the questions, bury the evidence. Rachel looked toward the school where Lily was somewhere inside, alone, scared, unaware of the conspiracy that had killed her father and was now trying to kill her spirit. We need to protect her, Commander. And we need to do it fast, because Victoria's escalating. Whatever she's planning next, it's going to be bad. The next came on day 21. Lily was leaving her art class, the last one of the day, when Victoria and 2 other girls blocked the hallway. "Lily Martinez," Victoria said, her voice syrupy sweet. "We need to talk." "I don't want to talk to you." "That's too bad, because I have a message from my father." Victoria stepped closer, her expensive perfume making Lily's eyes water. "He says your father was a traitor. He says your father was selling secrets to foreign governments. He says that's why he had to die." Lily's world tilted. "That's a lie." "Is it? Because my father showed me documents, official documents. He says the military covered it up to protect your father's reputation, but everyone who matters knows the truth." Victoria's smile was poison. "Your daddy was a bad man who died doing bad things, and you're just the crippled daughter of a criminal nobody wants around." "My father was a hero." "Your father was garbage." Victoria leaned in close, her breath hot against Lily's ear. "And pretty soon, everyone's going to know it. My father's going to release the documents. The news is going to run the story, and you're going to wish you died with him." Lily shoved her. It was instinct, rage, an explosion of grief and fury she couldn't control. Victoria went backward, theatrical, falling into her friend's arms like she'd been assaulted. "She attacked me!" Victoria screamed. "Did you see that? She attacked me!" The hallway filled with students, phones out, cameras recording. Brandon Chen was already live-streaming to his 500,000 followers. "The scholarship girl just assaulted Victoria Ashford," he narrated, his voice excited. "Completely unprovoked attack. This is going out live, people. Witness the violence." Lily stood there, shaking, her crutch trembling in her grip. She wanted to run, but her leg wouldn't work right. She wanted to scream, but her throat had closed up. She wanted her father, but he was dead, dead, dead. "I barely touched you," she whispered. "You attacked me because you can't handle the truth about your father." Victoria was crying now, perfect tears that would look great on camera. "I tried to be nice to you. I tried to help you fit in, but you're just like him, violent and unstable." The principal arrived within minutes. Ms. Deborah Hartwick, 50-something, expensive suit, eyes that calculated everything in terms of donor satisfaction. "Miss Martinez, come with me, now." "But I didn't." "Now!" The principal's office smelled like leather and lies. Ms. Hartwick sat behind her massive desk, fingers steepled, expression grave. Ms. Martinez, assault is a very serious offense. I didn't assault her. I pushed her after she said horrible things about my father. That's not what the video shows. The video shows you attacking Miss Ashford without provocation. Because they edited it! Lily's voice cracked. They cut out the part where she said my father was a traitor. They cut out everything she said before I touched her. Miss Ashford says you've been harassing her for weeks, making threats, creating a hostile environment. That's not true. She's the one who's been hurting me. Every single day. Ask anyone. I've asked several students. They all corroborate Miss Ashford's account. Ms. Hartwick pulled out a file. Ms. Martinez, I understand you've been through trauma. Losing your father, adjusting to your disability, coming to a new school. These are significant stressors. The school is prepared to offer you counseling, support services, even a medical leave of absence if you need time to recover. I don't need to recover. I need someone to believe me. I do believe you're hurting. Ms. Hartwick's voice went soft, sympathetic, utterly false. Which is why I'm recommending a 2-week suspension while we investigate this incident. When you return, we'll have a comprehensive plan in place to ensure you get the help you need. Lily understood then. The suspension wasn't about investigation. It was about making her go away. The Ashfords donated the new library wing, didn't they? Lily asked quietly. Ms. Hartwick's expression didn't change. That's not relevant to this situation. It's the only thing that's relevant. Lily stood up, her legs screaming with pain she refused to show. You're going to choose them over me because they have money and I don't? Because they matter and I don't? Because my father's dead and can't protect me anymore? Miss Martinez, my father died believing in things like justice and honor and truth. He died thinking this country was worth saving. Lily's voice shook but held steady. He'd be so disappointed to know what it actually is. She walked out before Ms. Hartwick could respond. Walked through hallways that felt like tunnels. Walked past students who whispered and pointed and recorded. Walked until she reached the school's side entrance where nobody usually went. That's where Victoria was waiting. Going somewhere, charity case? Lily stopped. She was so tired. Tired of being scared. Tired of being hurt. Tired of fighting alone. Leave me alone, Victoria. Can't do that. See, I have plans for you. Victoria stepped closer, and for the first time, Lily saw something in her eyes that was worse than cruelty. It was empty, flat, mechanical. My father says you're a problem that needs to be solved. He says your father was poking around in things that weren't his business. He says loose ends need to be tied up. What does that mean? It means accidents happen, especially to clumsy little girls who don't watch where they're going. Victoria smiled. The basement stairs are particularly dangerous. All those steps. So easy to fall. You're threatening me. I'm warning you. There's a difference. Victoria pulled out her phone, showed Lily a photograph. It was Lily's grandmother, Margaret, outside her small house. Pretty lady. Be a shame if something happened to her while you were away on your suspension. Lily's heart stopped. Don't you dare. Then do what my father says. Stop asking questions. Stop making trouble. Transfer schools. Disappear. Victoria leaned in close. Or we'll make you disappear. Just like we did with your daddy. She walked away, leaving Lily standing there with the truth finally, horribly clear. They'd killed her father, And now they were going to kill her. Lily didn't remember deciding to go to the basement. She just found herself there, in the dark, descending stairs that seemed to stretch forever. She was looking for a place to hide, to think, to breathe. Instead, she found the door at the bottom locked from the outside. She was trapped. The school emptied out over the next 2 hours. Lily heard the sounds of dismissal, buses leaving, the building going quiet. She pounded on the basement door until her hands bled. She screamed until her voice gave out. She tried her cell phone, but there was no signal. Nobody came. The basement was cold, old, full of forgotten furniture and boxes that smelled like mildew. There was a small window near the ceiling, too high to reach, showing a square of darkening sky. Lily sat down on the floor, her leg throbbing, her hands shaking, and did something she hadn't done since her father's funeral. She cried. Really cried. The kind of crying that comes from someplace deep and broken, the kind that feels like it might never stop. "Daddy," she whispered to the darkness. "I need you. I don't know what to do. I'm scared and I'm alone and they're going to hurt Grandma and I can't stop them. I can't do this by myself." The darkness didn't answer. Hours passed. The window went from gray to black. The temperature dropped. Lily's leg cramped painfully. She tried to stay calm, tried to remember her father's voice telling her that fear was normal, but giving up was not. But he wasn't here. He'd never be here again. And she was 10 years old and locked in a basement, and nobody was coming. That's what she believed, until she heard the door rattle. Then a voice, deep and commanding. "Lily? Lily Martinez, if you're in there, make noise." She scrambled up, nearly fell, caught herself. I'm here! Help me!" The door shook. Once. Twice. On the third hit, the lock splintered and the door crashed open. A man stood silhouetted in the doorway, backlit by emergency lighting. Tall, broad-shouldered, with a Belgian Malinois at his side. The dog barked once, sharp and commanding. "Easy, Shadow," the man said. Then to Lily, "Are you hurt?" "Who are you?" "Someone your father sent to protect you." The man stepped into the basement, and Lily saw his face properly for the first time. Steel gray eyes, weathered skin, a scar across his left cheekbone. "My name is Jake Harrison. I was your father's brother in the SEALs, and I made him a promise before he died." Lily stared at him. "You knew my dad?" "I knew him for 15 years. He saved my life twice. He talked about you constantly, showed everyone pictures of you, bragged about how smart you were, how brave." Jake's voice roughened. "He loved you more than anything in this world, Lily. And I swore to him that if anything happened, I'd keep you safe." "How did you know I was here?" "I've been watching the school for 3 weeks, documenting what's been happening to you. When I saw them lock this door after you went down, I knew." Jake knelt down, his eyes level with hers. "I know about Victoria. I know about the bullying. I know about today. And I know we don't have much time, because this is bigger than either of us realized." "What do you mean?" Jake pulled out his phone, showed her a photograph. It was the same picture Rachel had shown him, her father, shaking hands with Richard Ashford. "Your father was investigating Victoria's father for treason, weapons trafficking, corporate espionage, selling military technology to foreign enemies. He found evidence that would have destroyed Ashford's entire empire." Jake's jaw tightened. 3 months later, your father was dead in a training accident that was actually an assassination. The world tilted. Everything Victoria had said, everything that had felt like lies, suddenly clicked into a different pattern. "They killed him," Lily whispered. "They really killed him." "Yes. And now they're trying to break you so you never ask questions about it." Jake stood, offered his hand. "But that ends tonight. Your grandmother has something your father left her. Evidence, insurance. And we're going to use it to destroy the people who destroyed your family." Lily took his hand. It was warm, solid, real. "Why should I trust you?" "Because your father's last words were about you. Because I've spent 3 weeks watching you get hurt and documenting everything so I could keep my promise. Because—" Jake stopped, his voice catching. "Because you're David Martinez's daughter, and that means you're my family. And I don't leave family behind." Shadow the dog moved forward, pressed his nose against Lily's hand. She looked down at the animal, saw intelligence and loyalty, and something else in his brown eyes. "Shadow was there when your father died," Jake said quietly. "He wouldn't leave David's side until the very end. He's been different since then. Quieter. Like he's waiting for something." He paused. "I think he's been waiting for you." Lily knelt down, wrapped her arms around the dog's neck. Shadow leaned into her, warm and steady, and for the first time in 8 months, Lily didn't feel completely alone. "Okay," she whispered. "What do we do?" "Now we go get your grandmother. Now we open the evidence your father left behind. And now we start fighting back." Jake's expression hardened into something that was both terrifying and comforting. "Your father died protecting this country from people like Richard Ashford. We're going to finish what he started." Margaret Sullivan Martinez lived in a small house 40 minutes from Riverside Academy. She was 68 years old, silver-haired, tough as nails, and the only family Lily had left. She opened the door at 9 p.m. to find her granddaughter, a Navy SEAL, and a Belgian Malinois on her doorstep. "Lily? What happened? The school called and said you'd been suspended, but you weren't answering your phone." Margaret stopped, really seeing her granddaughter's face. "Oh, baby. Come inside." They sat in Margaret's living room that smelled like lavender and old books, while Lily told her everything. Victoria's threats, the basement, Jake's revelation about her father's investigation. Margaret listened in silence. When Lily finished, she was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, "I was hoping it wouldn't come to this." "You knew?" Lily's voice cracked. "You knew they killed Daddy?" "I suspected. Your father called me 3 weeks before he died, said he'd stumbled onto something dangerous, that he was sending me a package and I was to keep it safe no matter what happened." Margaret's hands trembled. "He said if anything happened to him, I was to give it to someone I trusted absolutely. Someone who could use it to protect you and finish his work." She looked at Jake. "You're Jake Harrison. David talked about you all the time. Said you were the best man he knew. Said if anything happened to him, you'd be the one to keep his promises." "Yes, ma'am." Jake's voice was respectful. "Where's the package?" Margaret stood up, walked to the backyard door. "Follow me." They went outside to a small garden where roses bloomed even in October. Margaret knelt beside the largest rosebush, started digging with her bare hands. "I buried it here 8 months ago," she explained. "Thought about turning it over to authorities, but David warned me not to trust official channels. He said the corruption went high, very high. So I waited for the right person." She pulled out a waterproof container wrapped in thick plastic, handed it to Jake. "Whatever's in there got my son killed," Margaret said quietly. "Use it wisely. Use it to protect my granddaughter. And use it to make those bastards pay." Jake opened the container. Inside was a flash drive and a letter in David's handwriting. The letter began, "If you're reading this, brother, I'm dead." Jake read David's letter aloud in Margaret's living room, his voice steady despite the way his hands shook. "If you're reading this, brother, I'm dead. And if I'm dead, it means they got to me before I could finish what I started. Richard Ashford is not just a tech billionaire. He's a traitor. His company, Ashford Technologies, has been selling military surveillance systems to foreign enemies: China, Russia, Iran, anyone with enough money and a desire to spy on American operations. I found the contracts. I have the bank records. I documented everything." Lily sat on the couch, shadow pressed against her legs, watching Jake's face as he continued reading. "The military knows. At least, some of them know. I reported it through official channels 3 months ago. Nothing happened. Then I started getting threats, anonymous messages, photographs of you and Emily at the grocery store, at Lily's school, at home. They wanted me to know they could reach my family anytime they wanted." Margaret made a small sound, pressing her hand to her mouth. "I tried to back off, tried to protect you by staying quiet, but I couldn't let it go, Jake. You know me. You know I can't watch good people die because some rich bastard wants another zero in his bank account. So I kept digging, kept documenting, kept building a case that couldn't be buried." Jake's jaw tightened. "If you're reading this, it means they buried me instead. But I'm not done fighting. The flash drive contains everything: financial records, communication logs, shipping manifests, names of everyone involved. Military officers taking bribes, politicians looking the other way, foreign agents operating on American soil. It's all there. Jake, I need you to do something for me. Protect Lily. Keep her safe from these people. But more than that, show her that her father didn't die for nothing. Show her that good people still win sometimes. That truth still matters. That one person who refuses to quit can change everything." The letter ended with coordinates and a password. Jake's vision blurred, but he forced himself to finish. "I love you, brother. I'm sorry I can't be there to watch your back anymore. But I know you'll watch Lily's. That's all I need. That's enough. Semper Fi." The room was silent for a long moment. Then Lily spoke, her voice small but clear. "Does the flash drive really have everything? Proof they killed him?" "Let's find out." Jake pulled out his laptop, inserted the drive, entered the password. The screen filled with files. Hundreds of them. Financial transactions, email chains, audio recordings, photographs. Years of investigation compressed into gigabytes of damning evidence. Rachel Kim, the FBI agent, had given Jake her personal number before being pulled off the case. He called her now, put the phone on speaker. "Harrison? It's almost midnight. I have David Martinez's evidence files, all of them. You need to see this." Silence. Then, "I'm 20 minutes away." She made it in 15. Rachel sat at Margaret's kitchen table, scrolling through files, her expression shifting from shock to fury to something that looked like vindication. "This is incredible. This is enough to bring down Ashford's entire operation. Multiple federal crimes, treason, conspiracy to commit murder." She looked up at Jake. "Why didn't David release this when he had the chance?" "He tried." Margaret's voice was quiet. "He sent copies to his commanding officer, to military investigators, to the Inspector General's office. Nothing happened. Nobody would touch it. Because the corruption goes that high," Rachel said grimly. "Look at this email chain. Ashford has been paying off a colonel in the Defense Department for 7 years. 3 senators receive monthly consulting fees through shell companies. 2 federal judges have Ashford's lawyers on retainer. She kept scrolling. They didn't just bury David's investigation. They orchestrated his death to prevent it from ever seeing daylight. Lily had been sitting quietly, absorbing everything. Now she spoke up. What about the mission? The one where he died? Is that in there? Rachel clicked through several folders, found what she was looking for. Oh my God. What? Jake leaned over her shoulder. The intelligence that sent David's unit on that mission was falsified. Deliberately. Look, the original report said there were no hostiles in the target area, but someone altered it to show high-value targets present, making it a priority operation. Rachel's hands trembled. They sent David and his team into an ambush. They knew exactly what would happen. Jake felt something cold settle in his chest. Who altered the intelligence? The electronic signature traces back to a contractor working for Ashford Technologies. Rachel looked at him, her eyes fierce. They didn't just kill David. They used his own mission, his own dedication to duty as the murder weapon. Margaret stood up abruptly, walked to the window, her shoulders shaking with rage or grief, or both. Lily's voice cut through the tension. So what do we do now? We have the evidence. Can't we just give it to the police? The local police chief is on Ashford's payroll, Rachel said. Look, monthly payments of $5,000 labeled as security consulting. Same with the county sheriff, 2 state troopers, and the district attorney. What about the FBI? Lily asked. Your FBI? Can't you? I was pulled off this case because my supervisors said there wasn't enough evidence. But I'm looking at enough evidence to prosecute 50 people for federal crimes. Rachel's expression darkened. Which means my supervisors were either incompetent or compromised. Either way, I can't walk this into my field office and expect anything to happen except my own career getting destroyed and this evidence disappearing. So, we're alone, Jake said. Not completely alone. Rachel pulled out her own phone, started typing. I know people, good people who haven't been bought. Federal prosecutors who actually care about justice. Journalists who've been investigating Ashford for years but couldn't get sources to go on record. We can build a case outside official channels, take it public, make it too big to bury. How long will that take? Margaret asked, still staring out the window. Weeks, maybe months if Ashford's lawyers fight back. We don't have months. Jake's voice went hard. Victoria Ashford threatened Lily today, told her accidents happen, showed her a photograph of Margaret, made it clear they're watching this house. They're escalating. Why? Lily's question was direct, cutting. Why do they care about me? I'm 10 years old. I don't know anything about my father's investigation. Why target me? Rachel and Jake exchanged glances. Rachel spoke first. Because they're not sure what your father told you. Because children of murdered whistleblowers often grow up asking questions. Because you're a loose end. She paused. And because there's something else. Something I've been documenting that doesn't make sense until you see it in context with everything else. She pulled up a new file on her laptop. Victoria Ashford has systematically targeted 7 students in the past 3 years, all scholarship kids from military families. I thought it was just bullying. Rich kid being cruel because she can. But look at the pattern. She showed them a chart. 7 names, 7 families, 7 timelines. Every single one of these military parents was deployed to the Middle East in the past 5 years. Every single one came in contact with operations or intelligence that could have exposed Ashford's trafficking network. And every single one is now either dead, discharged with psychological issues that discredit them, or too traumatized to come forward. They're not just eliminating threats, Jake said slowly. They're eliminating entire families. And the children are the final step, Rachel's voice dropped. Break them psychologically. Make them unstable, unreliable,
unable to function.
If they ever try to speak up as adults, who's going to believe the kid who was expelled from school for violence, who has a documented history of mental health issues, who everyone remembers as troubled? Lily felt sick.
I'm not the first.
No, sweetie, you're not. Margaret moved back to the couch, put her arm around her granddaughter.
But you might be the last if we stop them. How do we stop them?
Lily asked.
They have money, lawyers, politicians. What do we have?
Jake smiled grimly. We have the truth. We have evidence they can't explain away. We have your father's sacrifice. He looked at Lily directly. And we have you, the daughter of a hero who refused to quit. That means something.
I'm 10 years old.
David was talking about you constantly during our last deployment. You know what he said? Jake's voice softened. He said you were the strongest person he'd ever met. Braver than any SEAL he knew. He said when you were 6, you fell off your bike and broke your arm, but you didn't cry. You just stood up and asked him to teach you how to fall better next time. Lily remembered that day, remembered her father's face, proud and scared at the same time. He said you were going to change the world someday, that you had his stubbornness and your mother's heart, and nothing was going to stop you. Jake's eyes glistened. I promised him I'd keep you safe. But maybe what you need isn't just protection. Maybe what you need is someone standing beside you while you fight your own battles.
I don't know how to fight this.
Neither did your father when he started. But he learned. He documented. He gathered evidence. He refused to look away. Jake closed the laptop. We're going to finish what he started. We're going to expose Ashford. We're going to protect you and every other military family he's targeted. And we're going to make sure your father's sacrifice meant something.
How?
Lily asked again. First, we make you safe. Margaret, you're coming with us. We have a safe house set up.
Absolutely not.
Margaret's voice was steel.
I'm not running from my own home. I'm not letting these people drive me out.
Mrs. Martinez, they've already threatened Lily. They've shown they're watching this house. If they think you have evidence or information,
then let them come.
Margaret stood up, walked to a closet, pulled out a shotgun that looked older than Jake.
My father taught me to shoot when I was 12. My husband was a Marine, and my son was a Navy SEAL. I'm not running. I'm not hiding. And I'm sure as hell not letting some rich coward intimidate me in my own home.
Rachel laughed, surprised and genuine. I like her. Margaret, this isn't a joke.
I know it's not a joke, Commander Harrison. My son is dead because of these people. My granddaughter is being tortured because of these people.
Other families are being destroyed because of these people. Margaret's jaw set in a way that reminded Jake painfully of David.
You want to protect Lily? Fine. You want to investigate Ashford? Excellent. You want to build a case? Do it. But you're going to do it from here, from my home, where we can work together. Because I'm not sitting on the sidelines while other people fight my family's battles.
Jake studied her for a long moment. Then he nodded. All right, but we do this smart. We set up security. We don't take unnecessary risks. And at the first sign of real danger, you and Lily evacuate. Agreed?
Agreed.
Okay. Jake turned to Rachel. You said you know federal prosecutors who aren't compromised. Call them, tonight. Tell them we have evidence of treason and murder. Tell them we need protection for witnesses, and we need it fast.
What about me?
Lily asked.
What do I do?
You go back to school. Everyone stared at him.
Absolutely not,
Margaret said.
They tried to kill her today.
They tried to scare her. There's a difference. Jake's voice was calm, strategic. If Lily disappears, Ashford knows we're onto him. He'll destroy evidence, intimidate witnesses, disappear into his lawyers and money. But if Lily goes back to school, acts like nothing happened, he thinks he's still in control.
That's insane, Rachel said. You're using a 10-year-old as bait.
I'm giving a 10-year-old the chance to be brave, like her father. Jake looked at Lily. You don't have to do this. You can stay here, stay safe. Let us handle everything. Nobody would blame you. Lily thought about her father, thought about the letter he'd written, the evidence he'd gathered, the sacrifice he'd made. Thought about what he'd want her to do.
I'll go back. Lily, no, Margaret started. Grandma, listen to me. Those kids at school, Victoria and her friends, they think they broke me.
They think I'm going to run away and hide and prove they were right about me. Lily's voice grew stronger. But Dad didn't raise a quitter. He raised a fighter. And I'm going to show them that. It's dangerous. Living is dangerous. Dad knew that. He did it anyway. Lily looked at Jake. What do you need me to do? Document everything. Every threat, every incident, every word Victoria says. I'm going to give you a recording device that looks like a regular watch. Wear it every day. Get everything on record. What if they hurt me? Shadow goes with you. Officially registered as your emotional support animal. Schools can't refuse service animals. He'll be with you every moment of every day. Jake's expression hardened. And I'll be nearby. Always. You won't see me, but I'll be watching. If anything happens, if you're in real danger, Shadow knows hand signals. You give the signal, he'll protect you until I get there. How long do we have to do this? As long as it takes to build the case. Rachel's going to work with federal prosecutors. I'm going to gather additional evidence. Margaret's going to coordinate with other military families who've been targeted. Jake pulled out a small device, handed it to Lily. This is a panic button. You press it, I'm there in under 2 minutes, no matter where you are. Lily took the device. It was heavier than she expected. I'm scared, she admitted quietly. Good. Fear keeps you alert. Your father taught me that. Jake knelt down to her level. But here's what he also taught me. Fear is just information. It tells you something's dangerous. What you do with that information is up to you. You can let it control you, or you can use it to stay sharp. What did Dad do with his fear? He used it to save people, including me. 3 times. Jake's voice roughened. Once in Fallujah when we were pinned down by enemy fire. Once in Afghanistan when our convoy hit an IED. And once in Syria when I was about to make a tactical mistake that would have gotten our whole team killed. He paused. Your father was scared every single time. I could see it in his eyes. But he never let fear stop him from doing what was right. I wish he was here. Me too, kiddo. Me too. Rachel stood up from the table. I'm going to make some calls. We need to move fast on this. Ashford doesn't know we have the evidence yet, but he will soon. The moment Lily goes back to school and doesn't act broken, he's going to know something's changed. Let him know, Margaret said. Let him wonder. Let him worry. My son spent 3 months worried these people were going to hurt his family. Maybe it's time they felt some fear for a change. Jake's phone buzzed. He checked it, frowned. It's a text from an unknown number. He read it aloud. I know who you are. I know what you're doing. I can help. Meet me tomorrow at Riverside Academy, 7 a.m., teacher's parking lot. Come alone. It's a trap, Rachel said immediately. Probably. Jake saved the number, but it might also be someone inside who wants out, someone who knows what Ashford's really doing.
Or someone Ashford sent to figure out how much we know.
Either way, I'm going. Jake looked at his watch. It's almost 2 a.m. Everyone get some sleep. Tomorrow, we start fighting back. But none of them slept. Rachel spent the night on the phone with contacts in D.C. Margaret compiled a list of other military families who'd lost parents under suspicious circumstances. Jake reviewed David's files over and over, memorizing names, faces, connections. And Lily sat on her bed with Shadow beside her, staring at her father's photograph, trying to find courage in a dead man's smile.
"I'm going to make you proud, Daddy," she whispered. "I'm going to finish what you started. I promise."
Shadow pressed his nose against her hand, warm and steady. The dog's eyes held something that looked almost like understanding. Outside, the October night was cold and clear, stars scattered across the sky like broken promises. Somewhere in a mansion across town, Richard Ashford slept peacefully, unaware that the daughter of the man he'd murdered was about to destroy everything he'd built. Somewhere else, Victoria Ashford scrolled through social media, laughing at videos of other children's pain, convinced she was untouchable. And in a small house that smelled like roses and old books, 4 people who loved David Martinez prepared for war. Jake was at Riverside Academy's teacher parking lot at 6:45 a.m., early, cautious, ready for anything. He parked where he could see all entrances, kept his hand near his concealed weapon, watched every car that arrived. At exactly 7 a.m., a silver Honda pulled in. A woman got out, mid-30s, dressed like a teacher, nervous movements. She looked around like she expected someone to jump out of the shadows. Jake got out of his SUV. "I'm Jake Harrison." The woman startled, then nodded.
"I'm Sarah Chen. I teach 6th grade. I was friends with David Martinez before he died. He talked about you."
"What do you want, Ms. Chen?"
"I want to help you stop Richard Ashford."
Sarah's voice shook, but held steady.
"My cousin was one of the students Victoria targeted 2 years ago. She transferred schools, tried to start over. Last month, she tried to kill herself. She's in a psychiatric facility now."
Jake's jaw tightened. "I'm sorry."
"Don't be sorry. Be angry. Be useful."
Sarah pulled out her phone.
"I've been documenting Victoria's bullying for 3 years. The administration knows. They don't care. Every complaint I file disappears. Every time I try to protect a student, I get called into the principal's office and reminded that the Ashfords donated $50 million to this school."
"Why are you coming forward now?" "Because I saw what happened to Lily Martinez yesterday. Saw her get locked in that basement. Saw Victoria standing at the top of the stairs with that smile on her face. The one that says she knows she can do anything and nobody will stop her." Sarah's hands trembled.
"I can't watch another child break. I can't live with myself if I do nothing again."
"What can you tell me that I don't already know?"
"Victoria's not working alone. There are other students involved, but one of them doesn't want to be."
Sarah looked around nervously.
"Tyler Montgomery, the athletic kid who's always with Victoria's group. He's being blackmailed."
"Blackmailed? How?"
"His family immigrated from Ecuador 3 years ago. They're not documented. Victoria's father found out somehow, threatened to have ICE raid their house unless Tyler did whatever Victoria wanted."
Sarah's voice dropped.
"That boy is terrified."
"He's been helping Victoria hurt other students because if he doesn't, his entire family gets deported." Jake processed this. "Can Tyler testify?"
"If you can protect his family, yes. He came to me last week, crying, saying he couldn't do this anymore. He's 12 years old and carrying guilt that would break most adults."
"Where is he now?"
"Home, sick, supposedly,
but really just too scared to come back to school. Sarah handed Jake a slip of paper with an address. Talk to him. Get him away from Victoria's control. He knows things. He's been recording conversations on his phone for months. Insurance in case Ashford's people come after his family anyway. Jake took the address. Miss Chen, what you're doing is brave, but it's also dangerous. If Ashford finds out you're helping us, then let him find out. I became a teacher to protect children, not to watch them be destroyed by rich sociopaths. Sarah's expression hardened. My cousin almost died because I did nothing. I won't make that mistake again. She walked back to her car, then stopped. One more thing. Victoria's planning something for Halloween. I don't know what exactly, but I've heard her talking about it. Something about finally finishing what she started with Lily. Something permanent. Halloween's in 5 days. I know. Whatever you're planning, Commander Harrison, you need to move fast. She drove away, leaving Jake standing in the parking lot, with new information and a ticking clock. He called Rachel. We have a witness, a teacher with documentation, and a student who's been forced to participate. And we have a deadline. Victoria's planning something for Halloween. That's not enough time to build a federal case. Then we don't build a federal case. We build a public one. Jake got back in his SUV. Get your journalist contacts ready. We're going to release David's evidence before Ashford can stop us. If we can't get him arrested, we'll destroy his reputation so completely that he can't hurt anyone ever again. That's risky. If we go public too soon, he'll lawyer up, disappear. If we wait too long, Lily dies. I'm not letting that happen. Jake started the engine. David trusted me to protect his daughter. I'm going to keep that promise. Whatever it takes. He hung up, pulled out of the parking lot, and headed toward Tyler Montgomery's address. The war had begun. Tyler Montgomery lived in a small apartment complex on the edge of town, the kind of place where paint peeled and air conditioners dripped rust. Jake knocked on the door at 7:30 a.m., heard shuffling inside, whispered Spanish, then silence. Tyler, my name is Jake Harrison. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to help. Nothing. Sarah Chen sent me. She said you have recordings, evidence. I need to see them. The door cracked open. A boy's face appeared, brown eyes wide with fear. He looked younger than 12, smaller, like he'd been carrying weight that had bent him. Who are you? I'm a Navy SEAL. I was friends with Lily Martinez's father. I know what Victoria's been making you do. I know about your family. Tyler's face crumpled. You're going to turn us in. You're going to call immigration. I'm going to protect you, but I need your help first. Jake kept his voice calm, steady. Can I come in? 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. The door opened wider. Tyler's mother stood behind him, small and fierce, holding a kitchen knife like she knew how to use it. You police? She demanded. No, ma'am. I'm someone trying to stop bad people from hurting children, including your son. She studied him for a long moment, then lowered the knife. 5 minutes. They sat at a kitchen table that wobbled. Tyler's hands shook as he pulled out his phone. I've been recording everything for 8 months. Every threat Victoria made, every time she told me to hurt someone, or she'd call ICE on my family. His voice broke. I didn't want to do it. I swear I didn't want to hurt anyone. I know, son. I know. Jake's voice was gentle. Show me what you have. Tyler pulled up video after video. Victoria laughing as she planned attacks on other students. Victoria coaching Tyler on exactly how to make Lily fall in gym class. Victoria on the phone with someone saying, My father says we need to push harder.
Make the Martinez girl crack completely.
That last one, Jake said. When was that recorded?
2 days ago, right before she locked Lily in the basement.
Jake's blood went cold. Victoria's father is directly involved in the bullying.
He tells her what to do, who to target, how to break them.
Tyler's eyes filled with tears.
I heard her talking once about how her father said these kids were security risks, that their parents knew things that could hurt his business. She didn't understand what it meant.
She just thought it was a game. It's not a game. I know that now. I've known for months. Tyler wiped his eyes.
But if I stop, if I don't do what she says, my parents get deported. My little sister was born here. She's American. But Mom and Dad aren't. We'd get split up. I'd lose my family.
Jake leaned forward.
What if I could protect your family? Get them legal help, keep them safe, make sure ICE never touches them. Would you testify against Victoria and her father?
Tyler's mother spoke up.
You can do that? Really do that?
I have contacts in the FBI, military lawyers, people who owe me favors. I can't guarantee anything, but I can try. And I promise you this, I will do everything in my power to keep your family together. Jake looked at Tyler. But I need those recordings, all of them. And I need you to be brave one more time.
What do you need me to do?
Go back to school. Act normal. Keep recording. Victoria's planning something for Halloween. I need to know what it is.
She'll know something's wrong. She always knows.
Tell her you're scared. Tell her you heard Lily's father's friend is asking questions. Make it about protecting your family. She'll believe that.
Tyler was quiet, thinking. If I do this, if I help you stop her, will Lily forgive me? For all the things I did to her?
That's up to Lily. But I know this. Courage isn't never making mistakes. It's fixing them when you do. Jake stood up. Your father, what does he do?
Construction, day labor.
He's a hard worker. Came here for a better life for his family. That takes courage. Jake extended his hand. You've got that same courage. You just have to choose to use it. Tyler shook his hand. His grip was weak, but trying to be strong.
Okay, I'll do it. But please, please keep my family safe.
I promise. Jake left the apartment with Tyler's recordings backed up on his own phone and a 12-year-old boy's fragile hope weighing on his shoulders. He called Rachel immediately. I need immigration lawyers, good ones, families being blackmailed with deportation.
I know someone, a CLU attorney, specializes in these cases.
Rachel paused.
Jake, we got movement on the federal side. One of my contacts at DOJ is interested in David's evidence. She wants to meet.
When?
Tonight, 7 p.m., Federal Building downtown.
That's not enough time. Halloween's in 4 days. If Victoria's planning what I think she's planning,
then we need federal protection for Lily right now. This prosecutor can make that happen.
Rachel's voice hardened.
But she needs to see the evidence in person. Needs to verify it's real. Can you bring the flash drive?
Yes, but I'm not leaving Lily unprotected.
She won't be. I'm going to the school today, staying close.
Rachel hesitated.
Jake, there's something else. Brandon Chen, the kid who films everything for social media? I did some digging. His channel is funded by Ashford Media Corporation.
Jake felt something click into place.
The bullying videos aren't just cruelty. They're research.
Looks that way. Ashford's company has contracts with foreign governments for social engineering technology. I think they've been using Victoria's bullying campaigns to test psychological warfare tactics on children.
Jesus Christ.
If we can prove that, It's not just murder and treason. It's crimes against humanity. Rachel's voice shook.
These people are monsters, Jake, and they're using their own daughter as a weapon.
Does Victoria know?
I don't think so. I think she's just a cruel kid who's been encouraged and enabled by her father. She thinks she's special, chosen, above rules. She has no idea she's being used in a military experiment.
Jake thought about that. A girl raised to be a weapon, groomed to hurt others, never understanding that she was as much a victim as anyone else. It didn't excuse what she'd done, but it explained it.
What do we do about Brandon?
He's harder to flip. His whole identity is wrapped up in that channel. Hundreds of thousands of followers, sponsorship deals, fame. He's not going to give that up easily.
Everyone has a price. What's his?
Rachel was quiet for a moment. Redemption, maybe. He's smart enough to know what he's doing is wrong. Find the part of him that still feels guilty, and you might have a chance.
I'll think about it.
Jake checked his watch. Lily's going back to school in an hour. I need to get there first.
Be careful. Ashford knows something's happening. He might make a move.
Let him try. Lily walked into Riverside Academy at 8:15 a.m. with Shadow at her side and fear in her throat like swallowed glass. The hallways went quiet when students saw her. Whispers followed her like wind.
She's back. I thought she got expelled. Why does she have a dog?
Lily kept her head up, kept walking, kept pretending her heart wasn't trying to escape her chest. The watch Jake had given her was heavy on her wrist. The panic button was in her pocket. Shadow pressed against her leg with every step, warm and solid and real. Victoria was waiting at Lily's locker.
Well, well, the cripple returns.
Victoria's smile was sharp as broken bottles.
I thought you'd run away. Thought you'd finally figured out you don't belong here. This is my school too. For now.
Victoria leaned close.
My father's lawyers are filing an appeal on your suspension. You'll be gone by the end of the week. Permanently.
Lily forced herself to meet Victoria's eyes.
Your father can try, but I'm not going anywhere.
Something flickered across Victoria's face. Surprise, maybe. Uncertainty. She'd expected Lily to be broken. Instead, Lily was standing straighter than before.
What changed?
Victoria asked quietly.
What happened to you? I remembered who my father was, what he taught me, how he never gave up, no matter what.
Lily's voice didn't shake. And I decided to be more like him. Your father was a traitor who got himself killed.
My father was a hero who died fighting people like yours.
Lily stepped closer, and for the first time, Victoria stepped back.
And I'm going to finish what he started.
Victoria's hand shot out, grabbed Lily's arm. Shadow growled, low and dangerous.
Control your dog,
Victoria hissed.
He responds to threats. You threatening me, Victoria?
I'm warning you. You don't know what you're messing with. My father has resources you can't imagine. He can destroy you. He can destroy your grandmother. He can make you disappear like you never existed.
Then let him try.
Lily pulled her arm free.
Because I'm not scared of you anymore. I'm not scared of him. And I'm definitely not disappearing.
She walked away, Shadow at her side, leaving Victoria standing there with her mouth open and her certainty cracking. Tyler watched the exchange from across the hall. His phone recorded everything. When Victoria turned and saw him, he forced himself to smile. That was amazing, he said, walking over. Did you see her face?
Shut up.
Victoria's voice was venomous.
This isn't over. She thinks she's brave? I'm going to show her what happens to brave little girls.
What are you going to do? Victoria's smile returned, colder than before.
Halloween. The school's having a party in the gym. Everyone will be there. Costumes, games, the whole stupid thing.
She pulled out her phone, showed Tyler a photograph.
I'm going to make sure Lily has an accident. A bad one. The kind nobody comes back from.
Tyler's blood went cold. What kind of accident?
The kind that looks like suicide. Troubled little girl, dead father, disability, constant bullying. Everyone will believe she couldn't take it anymore.
Victoria's eyes glittered.
My father's people will make sure there's evidence. Notes, messages, a history of instability. And when she's gone, nobody will ask questions.
They'll just feel sorry for the poor broken girl who couldn't handle life. Victoria, that's murder. That's problem solving. She looked at him, her expression flat. You're going to help. You're going to lure her somewhere quiet during the party, away from teachers, away from witnesses, and then my father's people will handle the rest. I can't do that. You don't have a choice, unless you want ICE knocking on your door tonight. Victoria's voice went soft, deadly. I can make one phone call, Tyler. One call, and your whole family is in a detention center by morning. Your mother, your father, your baby sister, who doesn't even speak Spanish yet. All gone because you decided to grow a conscience. Tyler felt tears burning his eyes. Please don't make me do this. Then do what you're told, like you always do. Victoria walked away, her designer shoes clicking on marble floors. Tyler stood there shaking, phone still recording in his pocket, and made a decision. He pulled out the business card Jake had given him, dialed the number. Commander Harrison, it's Tyler. I know what Victoria's planning, and it's worse than we thought. Jake listened to Tyler's recording of Victoria's confession, his expression going darker with every word. He was parked outside Riverside Academy, watching the building like a hawk watches prey. She's planning a murder, Tyler said, his voice breaking over the phone. A fake suicide. She said her father's people would help. She said they'd make it look real. Did she say who her father's people are? No, just that they'd handle it, that they've done this before. Jake's jaw tightened. They have. 3 other military families. Children who supposedly had accidents or mental breakdowns. Children who couldn't tell their parents' stories because they weren't stable enough to be believed. He paused. You did the right thing calling me, Tyler. She's going to kill my family if she finds out I'm helping you. No, she's not. I'm moving your family tonight. Safe house, protection, immigration lawyers. You're not going back to that apartment. What about school? If I don't show up, you're going to show up. You're going to act normal. You're going to help me stop this. Jake's voice hardened. But first, I need you to do something for me. I need you to talk to Lily. She hates me. I've spent months hurting her. Then spend 5 minutes apologizing. Tell her the truth. Tell her you were being blackmailed. Tell her you want to help. Jake paused. She's going to need allies inside that school. People who know what Victoria's planning. You want redemption? Start by doing one thing right. Tyler was quiet for a long moment. Okay, I'll talk to her. Good. And Tyler, record everything. Every conversation with Victoria, every threat, every plan. We need evidence that can't be dismissed or buried. I will. I promise.
Tyler found Lily in the library during lunch period.
She was sitting alone, shadow at her feet, trying to read but clearly not absorbing anything. When she saw Tyler approaching, her face went hard.
"Stay away from me."
"Please, just 5 minutes. I need to tell you something."
"You've spent 8 months making my life hell. I don't want to hear anything you have to say."
"My family's being threatened." The words came out in a rush.
"Victoria's father found out we're undocumented. He said if I didn't do what Victoria wanted, he'd have us all deported. My parents, my sister, everyone. I didn't want to hurt you. I swear I didn't. But I was scared."
Lily stared at him.
"That's your excuse? You were scared?"
"It's not an excuse. It's the truth." Tyler's voice shook.
"I know what I did was wrong. I know sorry doesn't fix it. But I'm trying to fix it now. I'm working with Commander Harrison. I'm recording everything Victoria says. I'm going to help stop her."
"Why should I believe you?" "Because Victoria's planning to kill you at the Halloween party. She told me this morning. She said it would look like suicide. She said her father's people would make sure nobody asked questions." Tyler pulled out his phone. "I recorded it. All of it. And I'm going to make sure everyone knows what she is." Lily's hands trembled. "She's really going to try to kill me." "Not if we stop her first. But I need your help. I need you to trust me. Just enough to work together." Tyler's eyes filled with tears. "I know I don't deserve it. I know you have every right to hate me. But your father was investigating Victoria's father. He died trying to stop him. And now we have a chance to finish what he started. Please, let me help." Lily looked at Shadow. The dog was watching Tyler, calm, alert, but not aggressive, not threatening. Like he sensed something in this boy that wasn't dangerous. "Okay," Lily said finally, "but if you betray me again, I'll make sure everyone knows what you did. Every single thing."
"I won't. I promise." Tyler sat down across from her. "Victoria said the attack is going to happen during the Halloween party. She's going to lure you somewhere quiet, away from teachers and cameras. That's when her father's people will make their move."
"Who are her father's people?"
"I don't know, but they're professionals. They've done this before."
Tyler lowered his voice.
"Lily, I think Victoria's father killed your dad. I think that's why she's targeting you. Because you might ask questions. Because you might find evidence. Because you're a threat to his whole operation." "I know. Commander Harrison told me." Lily's voice was steady, despite the fear racing through her. "My father left evidence before he died. Everything Victoria's father has done. We're going to use it to destroy him." "How can I help?" "Keep recording. Keep pretending you're on Victoria's side."
"Find out everything about the Halloween plan. Where they're going to take me. When. How many people are involved." Lily leaned forward. "And when the time comes, you're going to help me turn the trap around." "What do you mean?"
"Victoria wants to lure me somewhere quiet? Fine. Let's give her what she wants."
Lily's eyes hardened in a way that would have made her father proud.
"But we'll have Commander Harrison and his people waiting. We'll record everything. Every threat, every attempt, every crime. And then we'll make sure the whole world sees exactly what the Ashfords really are."
Tyler stared at her. "You want to use yourself as bait?"
"I want to finish what my father started. And if that means facing down the people who killed him, then that's what I'm going to do."
Lily's jaw set.
"My father didn't raise a coward. He raised a fighter. And I'm done being afraid."
Across the library, Brandon Chen was filming them on his phone, zooming in, capturing every word he could read from their lips. He'd been filming Lily all day, documenting her return to school for his channel. But something was different today. Usually, when he filmed victims, he felt excited, powerful, like he was capturing something important. Today, he just felt sick. He thought about the sponsorship money from Ashford Media Corporation, thought about the hundreds of thousands of followers who watched his videos, thought about what Rachel Kim had said when she'd cornered him yesterday. "You're smart enough to know this is wrong, so why do you keep doing it?" He didn't have a good answer, not one that made him feel less like a monster. Brandon stopped recording, deleted the footage, and made a decision that terrified him. He was going to talk to Lily Martinez. Brandon waited until after school to approach Lily. She was at her locker, Shadow sitting alert beside her, when he cleared his throat behind her. "Go away, Brandon. I need to talk to you." "So you can film me, post it with some cruel caption, make money off my pain?" Lily didn't turn around. "I'm done being your content." "I'm not filming. Look." Brandon held up his phone, screen dark. "I deleted everything I recorded today. I'm not posting anything about you anymore." That made Lily turn. "Why?" Brandon's face twisted. "Because I can't do this anymore. I can't keep pretending it's just entertainment, that it's not real, that I'm not hurting people." His voice cracked. "Agent Kim found me yesterday, told me my channel is funded by Ashford's company, that I'm being used to test psychological warfare tactics on kids, that I'm basically a weapon, and I didn't even know it." "You knew you were hurting people. You just didn't care." "You're right. I didn't care, because caring meant admitting I was a bad person, and I didn't want to be a bad person, so I just kept telling myself it was content. It was business. It didn't matter." Brandon's hands shook. "But it does matter. You matter. And I'm sorry." Lily studied him. "Sorry doesn't fix anything." "I know, but maybe I can." Brandon pulled out his phone again. "I have footage. 3 years of filming Victoria's group. Everything they've done to every student they've targeted. I kept it all as backup, insurance in case they ever turned on me. I can give it to you. All of it." "Why would you do that?" "Because Victoria's planning to kill you at the Halloween party, and I don't want that on my conscience." Brandon's voice dropped. "I heard her talking to someone on the phone this morning. She was scared, which I've never seen before. She said her father was getting impatient, said the Martinez girl needed to be handled permanently before everything fell apart." Lily felt ice in her stomach. "Who was she talking to?" "I don't know, but whoever it was, they scared her. Really scared her." Brandon looked at Shadow, then back at Lily. "I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but let me help. Let me do one thing right. Commander Harrison needs to see your footage. All of it. I'll send it to him tonight. Everything I have." Brandon hesitated. "There's something else. My channel has 500,000 followers. Most of them watch because they think the bullying videos are funny. But some of them watch because they think it's wrong and they're trying to document it, report it, stop it." "What's your point?" "What if I posted the truth? What if I told everyone what's really been happening? That Victoria's father is a criminal who's been using his daughter to attack military families. That I've been helping without knowing it." Brandon's eyes were desperate. "I could reach 500,000 people in an hour. I could make this so public that Ashford can't bury it. Or you tip him off and he'd destroy all the evidence before we can use it. Then tell me what you need. Tell me how to help without making things worse." Lily thought about her father, about promises and courage, and finishing what you started. "Come with me. Commander Harrison is meeting with a federal prosecutor tonight. You're going to give them everything you have.
And then we're going to stop the Ashfords from ever hurting anyone again. Jake met with Assistant U.S. Attorney Rebecca Walsh at 7 p.m. in a conference room that smelled like coffee and consequences. Rachel was there. Margaret was there. And now Tyler, Brandon, and Lily were there too, Shadow lying quietly under the table. Rebecca Walsh was 50, sharp-eyed, and had a reputation for prosecuting cases everyone else thought were impossible. She'd spent the last 2 hours reviewing David's flash drive, Tyler's recordings, and Brandon's video archive.
"This is the most comprehensive evidence package I've seen in 20 years," she said finally. "Financial crimes, treason, weapons trafficking, murder for hire, conspiracy, witness tampering, obstruction of justice. We could prosecute Richard Ashford on 47 federal charges."
"Could or will?" Jake asked.
"Will. Absolutely will. This evidence is airtight."
Rebecca leaned forward.
"But there's a problem. Ashford doesn't know we have this yet. The moment we move to arrest him, he'll activate every lawyer, every political connection, every resource he has to suppress or destroy evidence. We'll get him eventually, but it could take years. We don't have years. Victoria's planning to murder Lily at a school Halloween party in 3 days."
Rebecca's expression hardened.
"Then we need to move faster than I've ever moved before. I can have arrest warrants by tomorrow morning. FBI can execute them tomorrow afternoon. We take down Ashford, his key associates, everyone involved in the conspiracy, all at once." "What about protection for the witnesses?" Margaret asked. "For Lily, for Tyler's family, for everyone who's come forward." "Federal protective custody, starting tonight. I have agents standing by." Rebecca looked at Lily. "I know this is scary, sweetheart, but we're going to keep you safe." "I don't want to hide." Lily's voice was quiet but firm. "I want to go to that Halloween party." Everyone started talking at once. "Absolutely not! That's insane! You'll be killed!" Lily raised her voice. "Listen to me. If I disappear, Ashford knows something's wrong. He'll run or destroy evidence or hurt other people. But if I'm at that party, if I act normal, he thinks he's still in control. He thinks his plan is working." "His plan is to murder you," Jake said flatly. "His plan is to murder me quietly, away from witnesses. Somewhere his people can make it look like suicide." Lily's jaw set. "What if we turn that around? What if we let them try, but we're ready? We record everything. We catch them in the act. We get evidence so clear that no lawyer can explain it away." "You're 10 years old. I'm not using you as bait. My father died fighting these people. I'm going to help finish what he started." Lily looked at Jake with eyes that were too old for her face. "You promised him you'd protect me. But you also promised you'd show me that good people still win, that truth matters, that one person who refuses to quit can change everything. Let me be that person." Rebecca spoke carefully. "Commander Harrison, I understand your hesitation, but the girl has a point. If we can catch Ashford's people in the act of attempted murder, with recordings and witnesses, it's the strongest possible case. No jury would acquit. And if something goes wrong, if they get to her before we can stop them, then we don't let anything go wrong." Rachel leaned forward. "We plan this like a military operation. Multiple layers of protection, surveillance everywhere, armed agents in the school. We control every variable." "You can't control everything." "No, but we can control enough." Rebecca's voice was steel. "I've been prosecuting criminals for 2 decades. The ones who get away are the ones who are careful, who never make mistakes, who always have plausible deniability. Ashford has been careful for years, but he's getting desperate now. Desperate people make mistakes, and we're going to be there when he does." Jake looked at Lily, saw David in her face. That same determination, that same refusal to back down even when the odds were impossible. "You understand what you're agreeing to?" he asked quietly. "They will try to kill you. Really kill you. This isn't a game or a test. If we fail, you die."
I understand. But I also understand that if we don't stop them now, they'll keep killing people. Other military families.
Other children who don't have a Commander Harrison watching over them. Lily reached down, touched Shadow's head.
My dad died trying to stop them. I'm not going to let that be for nothing.
Margaret was crying silently.
David would be so proud of you. And so terrified. He was always both. That's what being brave means.
Lily looked around at the table.
So what's the plan?
Rebecca pulled out a laptop.
Halloween party is 3 days away. That gives us time to prepare. Here's what we're going to do.
The next 72 hours were organized chaos. Federal agents descended on Riverside Academy, posing as maintenance workers, substitute teachers, parent volunteers. They installed hidden cameras in every hallway, every room, every exit. They mapped the building, identified choke points, planned response times down to the second. Tyler's family was moved to a safe house with round-the-clock protection and immigration lawyers who promised to fight for their legal status. Tyler himself became the linchpin of the operation, feeding information to both Victoria and Jake, walking a tightrope that got thinner every day. Brandon shut down his social media channel with a cryptic message. "Taking a break to figure out who I really want to be. Thanks for understanding." His followers were confused. Ashford's people were suspicious, but it bought them time. Margaret coordinated with other military families whose children had been targeted by Victoria. 3 parents agreed to come forward, testify, share their stories. The pattern became impossible to deny. And Lily went to school every day, acting normal, pretending she didn't know death was circling closer. She attended classes, ate lunch, talked to other students like her world wasn't about to explode. Shadow never left her side. Jake was never more than 2 minutes away. Victoria watched her with increasing frustration. "Why isn't she breaking?" she demanded of Tyler on the second day. She should be terrified. She should be crying, begging, falling apart. Instead, she's acting like nothing's wrong. "Maybe she doesn't know about your plan," Tyler suggested carefully. "Or maybe she's braver than I thought." Victoria's eyes narrowed. "That makes it more fun. Breaking someone who's already broken is boring. Breaking someone who thinks they're strong? That's entertaining." "When exactly is this happening? At the party?" "During the costume contest. Everyone will be in the gym watching. That's when you lure her away. Tell her you need to show her something. Evidence about her father. Something important." Victoria smiled. "She'll follow you because she's desperate. Desperate people are easy to manipulate." "Where am I taking her?" "The basement, where we locked her before. My father's people will be waiting." Victoria's smile widened. "They're professionals. It'll be quick. Painless even. She won't suffer long." Tyler's phone recorded every word from his pocket. Later, he'd listen to the recording and throw up from fear and guilt. But in the moment, he just nodded. "Okay, I'll do it." "Good boy." Victoria patted his cheek like he was a dog. "After this, your family is safe. My father promised. He keeps his promises to people who are useful." Tyler wanted to tell her that her father kept promises the way snakes kept them, but he just smiled and walked away. Halloween arrived with unseasonable warmth and clear skies, the kind of day that felt like the universe was holding its breath. Lily dressed as a Navy SEAL, combat fatigues, toy weapons, dog tags around her neck that had actually belonged to her father. When Margaret saw her,
She started crying. You look just like him. That's the point. Lily adjusted her costume. If I'm going to honor his memory, I'm going to do it right. Jake arrived at the house at 5 p.m. to escort them to the school. He was wearing civilian clothes, but carrying enough concealed weapons to start a small war. Rebecca and her team were already in position, he said. 20 federal agents throughout the school. Rachel's in the gym posing as a parent volunteer. We have eyes on every entrance, every exit, every room where Victoria's people might try to take you. What about Victoria's father? Where is he? At home, supposedly, but we're watching his house. If he moves, if he tries to run, we'll know immediately. Jake knelt down to Lily's level. Last chance to back out. Nobody would blame you. I'm not backing out. Didn't think so. Jake handed her a small device. This is upgraded from the panic button. It's a tracker, communicator, and emergency beacon. I'll know where you are every second. If anything feels wrong, you press this button, and I'm there in under 60 seconds. Understood? Understood. Shadow stays with you the entire time. He's trained to protect you, even if it costs him his life. But it won't come to that, because I'll be watching every move you make. Lily hugged him suddenly, fiercely. Thank you for keeping your promise to my dad. Jake's voice roughened. Thank you for being worth protecting. The school gym was transformed into a Halloween carnival. Orange and black decorations hung from the ceiling. Music played too loud. Children in costumes ran and screamed and laughed, unaware that federal agents were watching from the shadows. Lily walked in with Shadow, found herself immediately surrounded by students. Cool costume! Is that a real service dog? My brother's in the army! For a moment, Lily felt almost normal, almost like a regular kid at a regular party. Then she saw Victoria watching from across the gym, dressed as a princess, her smile sharp as knives. The costume contest started at 7 p.m. Students lined up on the stage, showing off elaborate outfits their parents had spent hundreds of dollars on. Lily stood with them, feeling her father's dog tags heavy around her neck. Tyler approached during the judging. Lily, I need to show you something. It's important. Her heart started racing. This was it. The moment everything changed. What is it? Evidence. About your father's investigation. I found something hidden in Victoria's locker. Documents. Proof of everything. Tyler's voice was urgent, convincing, exactly like Victoria had coached him. But it's in the basement. I hid it there so Victoria wouldn't find it. Lily pretended to hesitate. I don't know. I should get Commander Harrison. There's no time. Victoria's going to check her locker after the contest. If she finds it missing, she'll destroy it. Tyler grabbed her hand. Please, this could be what you need to stop them. Okay, let's go. They left the gym, Shadow following, Tyler leading the way toward the basement stairs. Lily's hand went to the device in her pocket. She pressed it once, the signal Jake was waiting for. In the gym, Jake's phone buzzed. He was moving before the sound finished, Rachel at his side, federal agents falling into position like a choreographed dance. In a car parked 2 blocks away, Richard Ashford received a phone call. The Martinez girl is heading to the basement. Your people are ready? They're ready. 20 minutes from now, this problem is solved. Permanently. Ashford hung up, started his car, and drove toward the school. He wanted to be there when it happened. Wanted to watch the daughter of the man who'd almost destroyed him finally disappear. He didn't notice the FBI vehicles following him. Tyler led Lily down the basement stairs, his hands shaking so badly he had to grip the railing. Where exactly did you hide it? Lily asked, playing her part. In the back, behind some old boxes. Tyler's voice cracked. Lily, I'm sorry. Sorry for what?
The door at the bottom of the stairs swung open. 3 men emerged, dressed in maintenance uniforms, faces professional and empty. Shadow started barking immediately, positioning himself between Lily and the threat. "Miss Martinez," one of the men said, "you need to come with us, quietly. Don't make this difficult." Lily's hand went to her pocket. The panic button was there, warm under her fingers, but she didn't press it yet. She needed them to say more, do more, incriminate themselves completely. "Who are you?" "We work for Mr. Ashford. He has questions about your father's investigation. Questions that need answering." The man stepped closer. Shadow's barking got louder, more aggressive. "Control your dog, or we'll control him for you." "Don't touch my dog." "Then come quietly." "What if I scream? What if I run?" The man smiled. It was worse than Victoria's smile. It was empty. Then you have an accident. Tragic fall down the stairs. 10-year-old girl with a disability loses her balance. These things happen. "You're going to kill me." "We're going to solve a problem." The man pulled something from his pocket, a syringe. "This will just make you sleep. You won't feel anything. It'll look like you overdosed on medication you were taking for your leg pain. Everyone will understand." Poor traumatized girl couldn't cope anymore. That's when Lily pressed the button. That's when Jake and 6 federal agents burst through the basement door, weapons drawn, voices commanding. "FBI, get on the ground, now!" The 3 men froze. One reached for a weapon. Shadow launched himself at the man's arm, teeth finding flesh, the man screaming. Federal agents swarmed, taking all 3 down, cuffing them, reading rights that would never result in freedom. Tyler collapsed against the wall, sobbing with relief and terror. Lily stood there, shaking, watching justice happen in real time. Jake reached her in seconds, pulled her into a hug that lifted her off her feet. "You're okay. You're safe. I've got you." "We got them," Lily whispered. "We really got them." "Yes, we did." Jake's voice was fierce with pride. "Your father would be so proud." Upstairs, Richard Ashford walked into the school's main entrance and straight into Rebecca Walsh and 10 federal agents. "Richard Ashford, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder, treason, weapons trafficking." Rebecca kept listing charges as agents cuffed him, his face going from confident to confused to terrified in seconds. "This is a mistake. I have lawyers. I have rights. You can't do this." "We can, and we are. You have the right to remain silent. I suggest you use it." Victoria watched from the gym doorway as her father was led away in handcuffs. For the first time in her life, nobody was laughing. Nobody was watching her. Nobody cared about the princess costume, or the perfect hair, or the carefully constructed image of invincibility. She was alone. Sarah Chen, the teacher who'd first helped Jake, approached her carefully. "Victoria, your mother is being contacted. She's coming to pick you up." "My father didn't do anything wrong." "Your father did many things wrong, and you helped him without knowing what you were really doing." Sarah's voice was gentle. "But you're 11 years old. You're not beyond saving. Not yet." Victoria started crying then. Real tears, not the fake ones she'd perfected for cameras. "What's going to happen to me?" "That depends on what you choose to do next. You can keep lying, keep defending him, keep hurting people. Or you can tell the truth, help the people you've hurt, and maybe, someday, become someone better than he raised you to be." In the basement, Lily watched the 3 men being led away in handcuffs. Tyler was still crying. Shadow was being checked by a veterinarian agent to make sure he wasn't injured. Federal agents were photographing everything, documenting everything, building a case that couldn't be broken. Rachel appeared at the top of the stairs. "Ashford's in custody.
His house is being searched right now. We're finding evidence of everything. Weapons caches, communication logs, financial records that prove he's been selling military technology to foreign enemies for over a decade. What about the other families? The ones Victoria targeted? We're contacting them all, offering protection, counseling, justice. Some of them didn't even know their children were being systematically attacked as part of a larger conspiracy. Rachel's expression was grim. This is going to be the biggest military corruption case in decades. Your father uncovered something that goes deeper than any of us realized. Lily looked at the dog tags around her neck. Her father's dog tags. He knew it was big.
That's why he kept fighting even when they threatened him. He kept fighting because he believed in doing the right thing, even when it was hard, even when it cost him everything. Rachel knelt down. Just like you did tonight. You were so brave, Lily, so incredibly brave. I was terrified the whole time. That's what bravery is, being terrified and doing it anyway. Jake appeared beside them. Margaret's upstairs. She wants to see you. And there's someone else. They went up to the main hallway where Margaret was waiting with tears streaming down her face. She pulled Lily into a hug that crushed breath and restored it at the same time. "Don't you ever scare me like that again," she whispered fiercely. "I won't, Grandma. I promise." The someone else was David Rodriguez, Miguel Rodriguez's older brother, a Navy SEAL who'd served with David Martinez. He stood there in civilian clothes, eyes red, jaw tight. "Your father saved my life in Mosul," he said quietly. "I've been working with Commander Harrison for the past month, investigating Ashford, building evidence. I just wanted you to know that your dad's whole team has been watching over you. All of us. You were never alone." Lily felt something break open in her chest. All this time she'd thought she was alone, thought nobody cared. But her father's brothers had been there, watching, protecting, keeping promises that transcended death. "Thank you," she managed. "No, thank you. For finishing what your father started. For being brave enough to stand up when nobody else would." David smiled slightly. "He talked about you constantly, said you were going to change the world. Looks like he was right." The gym was being evacuated, parents arriving confused and scared, students asking questions, teachers trying to maintain order while federal agents swarmed the building. Victoria was led out by her mother, a woman who looked shell-shocked and heartbroken. As they passed Lily, Victoria stopped. "I'm sorry," she said quietly, "for everything. I didn't know what my father was really doing. I thought I was just playing a game. It wasn't a game. People died. I know that now." Victoria's voice shook. "I don't expect you to forgive me, but I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying to be better than what he made me." Lily looked at her, saw a girl her own age who'd been used as a weapon, who'd been raised to be cruel, and was only now understanding the consequences. "Then start tomorrow. Start by telling the truth about everything you did, every student you hurt, every family you destroyed. Make it right." Victoria nodded, tears running down her face, and let her mother lead her away. Jake drove Lily and Margaret home at midnight. The house smelled like roses and safety and the promise of tomorrow. "What happens now?" Lily asked. "Now the federal prosecution begins. Trials, testimonies, years of legal proceedings." Jake's voice was tired but satisfied. "But Ashford's going to prison. So are his associates. The weapons trafficking stops. The targeting of military families stops. Justice happens." "Will I have to testify?" "Probably, but you won't be alone. We'll all be there with you." Lily nodded, exhaustion finally catching up.
Commander Harrison, thank you for keeping your promise to my dad.
Thank you for being his daughter. Jake's eyes glistened. He'd be so proud of you, Lily. So incredibly proud. That night, Lily dreamed of her father. He was wearing his dress uniform, standing in sunlight, smiling the way he used to smile before war and secrets had carved lines into his face. "You did good, sweetheart," he said. "You did so good."
I miss you, Daddy.
I miss you too, but I'm always with you, right here. He touched her chest where her heart was. Always. She woke up crying, but not sad. For the first time in 8 months, the tears felt like release instead of drowning. Shadow was curled at the foot of her bed. Outside, Jake was in his SUV, still watching, still protecting. In D.C., Rebecca Walsh was building the case that would put Richard Ashford away for life. And somewhere in the darkness, justice was finally coming. The arraignment happened 3 days after Halloween. Richard Ashford stood in federal court wearing an orange jumpsuit instead of his $1,000 suits, his silver hair uncombed, his confidence shattered. Lily watched from the gallery, Margaret's hand tight around hers, as the judge read 47 charges that would keep him in prison for the rest of his life. "How does the defendant plead?" Ashford's lawyer stood. "Not guilty on all counts, Your Honor." Lily expected that. Rebecca had warned her that rich men always pled not guilty first, always believed their money would save them, always thought they were special. But when the judge set bail at $50 million and declared Ashford a flight risk, when U.S. Marshals let him back to detention, Lily saw something she'd never seen before. Fear. Real fear in the eyes of a man who'd thought himself untouchable.
He's going to fight this,
Margaret said quietly as they left the courthouse.
He's going to use every legal trick, every delay, every...
Let him fight. Lily's voice was steady. We have the evidence. We have the witnesses. We have the truth. He's already lost. He just doesn't know it yet. Jake was waiting outside, Shadow beside him. How do you feel?
Tired. Scared. Angry.
Lily paused.
But also hopeful. Is that weird?
That's healthy. Jake knelt down. Your father used to say that hope wasn't naive. It was strategic. It kept you fighting when everything else said to quit.
I'm going to have to testify, aren't I? In the actual trial.
Yes. Probably in 6 months, maybe longer. Ashford's lawyers will try to delay. Jake's jaw tightened. They'll try to discredit you. They'll bring up your age, your trauma, your medication. They'll make you relive everything.
I can handle it.
I know you can, but you shouldn't have to. Jake stood, looked at Margaret. I've been talking to Rebecca Walsh. There are 7 other military families whose children were targeted by Victoria's bullying campaign. 3 of them lost parents in suspicious circumstances just like David. All of them are willing to testify.
Against Ashford? Or against Victoria?
Against Ashford. Victoria's cooperating. Her mother hired different lawyers, ones who actually care about justice instead of just winning. Jake paused. Victoria's agreed to testify against her father in exchange for reduced charges. She's going to admit everything she did, apologize to every student she hurt, and enter a counseling program. Lily didn't know how she felt about that. Part of her wanted Victoria to suffer the way she'd suffered. Part of her remembered the terrified girl being led away by her mother, finally understanding what she'd been part of.
Will she go to jail?
Juvenile detention, probably. A year, maybe 2. But she's 11. The system is designed to rehabilitate kids, not destroy them. Jake's voice softened.
Your father believed in second chances. He believed people could change if they chose to. Do you think Victoria's choosing to change? I think she's scared. I think she's realizing her father used her. I think she doesn't know who she is without him telling her what to do.
Lily looked up at Jake.
But I also think she meant it when she said she'd spend the rest of her life trying to be better. Then maybe we let her try. Maybe that's what justice looks like sometimes. Not just punishment, but transformation.
2 weeks after the arraignment, Lily received a letter. It was handwritten on plain paper, the penmanship careful and shaky. Dear Lily, I know you probably don't want to hear from me. I know I don't deserve your time or attention. But my therapist said I should write this anyway, even if you never read it, even if you throw it away. I need to say I'm sorry. Really sorry. Not sorry I got caught, or sorry my life fell apart. Sorry for what I did to you. For making you afraid every day. For mocking your father who died a hero. For trying to destroy you just because my father told me to. I was cruel. I was horrible. I was everything a person shouldn't be. And I can't take it back. I can't undo the pain I caused, but I can promise you this. I'm going to spend every day for the rest of my life trying to be different, trying to help people instead of hurting them, trying to understand why I became what I became so I never become it again. You don't have to forgive me. You don't have to answer this letter. You don't owe me anything. But I owed you an apology, a real one. I'm sorry, Lily. I'm so sorry. Victoria. Lily read the letter 3 times, showed it to Margaret, to Jake, to her therapist. Everyone had different opinions about whether Victoria was sincere or just trying to manipulate sympathy. Lily didn't know either. But she kept the letter. Tyler came to visit on a Saturday afternoon. His family was still in protective custody, but immigration lawyers had filed paperwork for legal residency. The process would take years, but at least they weren't running anymore. I wanted to thank you, Tyler said, sitting in Margaret's living room with hot chocolate that Margaret insisted on making. For not hating me, for giving me a chance to make things right. I did hate you, for a while. Lily's honesty was gentle. But then I realized you were a victim too, just a different kind. That doesn't excuse what I did. No, it doesn't. But it explains it. And understanding why someone did something bad is the first step to preventing it from happening again. Lily sipped her own hot chocolate.
Are you going back to Riverside Academy? No, my family's moving to a different district. Fresh start.
Tyler smiled slightly.
But I'm starting a support group at my new school, for kids who've been bullied or who've been forced to bully others. I figure if I'm going to fix my mistakes, I should help other people avoid making them. That's really brave. I learned from the best. Tyler looked at her seriously. You stood up when nobody else would. You faced down people who wanted you dead. You finished what your father started. That's courage, Lily. Real courage. I was terrified every second. That's what makes it courage. Brandon Chen posted his final video on December 1st. He looked different, thinner, tired, older somehow. His 500,000 followers watched in confusion as he explained everything. I've been lying to you for 3 years.
Every funny video I posted where someone got hurt, got humiliated, got destroyed, those weren't pranks. That was abuse. I was documenting real pain for entertainment. I was making money off suffering. And I convinced myself it was okay because you all watched, because the numbers kept going up, because nobody stopped me. He paused, wiping his eyes. But it wasn't okay. It was evil. And I was being paid by a company owned by a man who was using my channel to test psychological warfare tactics on children. I didn't know that when I started, but I should have asked questions. I should have cared more about the people I was hurting than the followers I was gaining. Comments flooded in immediately. Some supportive, some angry, some calling him a liar seeking attention. Brandon kept talking. A few weeks ago, I helped stop that man and his daughter from murdering a 10-year-old girl whose father had been killed trying to expose their crimes. I gave evidence to federal prosecutors. I testified about everything I'd filmed. And now that man is in prison, facing life sentences. His daughter is in juvenile detention. And I'm here, trying to figure out how to live with what I did. He looked directly into the camera. If you're watching this, and you've ever been the person behind the camera, laughing at someone else's pain, thinking it's just content, thinking it doesn't matter, it does matter. Those are real people with real feelings and real lives you're destroying. Stop. Delete your cruel videos. Apologize to the people you've hurt. Choose to be better. He reached forward, and the video ended. The video went viral. 5 million views in 24 hours. News outlets picked it up. Debates erupted about social media, bullying, accountability. Brandon's channel was deleted by the platform for terms of service violations, but the message had already spread. 3 days later, he showed up at Margaret's house. I don't know what I'm supposed to do now, he admitted. My channel's gone. My followers mostly hate me. My parents are ashamed. I've got nothing. You've got a chance to start over, Lily said. That's more than a lot of people get. I don't deserve it. Maybe not, but you're getting it anyway. Lily stood up. Tyler's starting a support group for bullies and victims. He could probably use help from someone who understands both sides. You think anyone would want me there? I think people who are trying to change recognize others who are trying to change. And I think you'll never know unless you try. Brandon nodded slowly. Okay, I'll try. The trial began in March, 6 months after Halloween. The federal courthouse was packed with journalists, victims' families, military personnel, and people who just wanted to watch justice happen. Lily testified on the third day. She wore her father's dog tags under her dress, wore Shadow's service vest like armor, wore the truth like a weapon nobody could take from her. Ashford's lawyer tried to rattle her. Isn't it true, Miss Martinez, that you have a history of emotional instability following your parents' deaths? I have a history of grieving. That's not the same thing. Isn't it true that you've been in therapy for PTSD? Yes, because of what your client's daughter and his employees did to me. Isn't it true that you have every reason to lie about Mr. Ashford to get revenge for your father's death? Lily looked directly at Ashford. He wouldn't meet her eyes. I don't need to lie. The evidence speaks for itself. Financial records proving he sold military technology to foreign enemies. Communications proving he ordered my father's death. Video recordings proving he directed his daughter to target children of military personnel who might expose him. Her voice was steady, clear. I'm not here for revenge. I'm here for justice. There's a difference. The jury watched her carefully. 12 people who would decide if truth mattered more than money. Rebecca Walsh questioned her next. Lily, can you tell the jury about the night of Halloween? What happened in that basement? Lily described everything. Tyler's approach, the men with empty eyes, the syringe meant to make her death look like suicide, Shadow's protection, Jake's arrival, the arrests. And during all of this, were you afraid? Yes. But you did it anyway. Yes,
Because my father taught me that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's doing what's right even when you're terrified. One final question. What do you want from this trial? Lily thought about that. I want other military families to know they're not alone. I want children who are being bullied to know they can fight back. I want people who think money makes them untouchable to learn that truth is stronger. She paused.
And I want my father to know that I kept his legacy alive, that his death wasn't for nothing. The courtroom was silent. Even Ashford's lawyer had no more questions. Other witnesses followed. The 3 men who'd tried to kill Lily, all of whom had accepted plea deals in exchange for testimony against Ashford. Colonel James Wright, the military officer who'd been on Ashford's payroll, who admitted to falsifying the intelligence that led to David's death. Thomas Chen, the accountant, looking skeletal from his cancer, who provided financial records that couldn't be disputed. And Victoria, 11 years old, wearing plain clothes, her hair pulled back simply, looking nothing like the princess who'd terrorized Riverside Academy. "Did your father tell you to target specific students?" Rebecca asked.
Yes. He'd give me names. Military kids mostly. He said they were security risks.
Victoria's voice was quiet.
I didn't understand what that meant. I just wanted to make him proud.
"Did you know your father was a criminal?"
Not until Commander Harrison arrested him. I thought he was a hero, a genius, someone special.
Tears ran down Victoria's face.
I didn't know he was a monster. I didn't know I was helping him hurt people.
"Are you sorry for what you did?"
Sorry isn't enough. Sorry doesn't undo the pain.
Victoria looked at Lily directly.
But I am sorry. And I'm going to spend my whole life trying to be better than what he made me.
The trial lasted 7 weeks. The jury deliberated for 3 days. The verdict came on a Thursday afternoon in April. Lily sat between Jake and Margaret, shadow at her feet, as the jury foreman stood. "On the count of treason, we find the defendant guilty. On the count of conspiracy to commit murder, we find the defendant guilty. On the count of weapons trafficking, we find the defendant guilty. 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 47 times. 47 counts. 47 crimes that would keep Richard Ashford in federal prison for the rest of his natural life, without possibility of parole. Ashford's face went gray. His lawyers immediately started talking about appeals, but everyone in that courtroom knew it was over. Margaret was crying. Jake had his arm around Lily's shoulders. Shadow pressed against her leg, warm and steady.
We did it,
Lily whispered.
We really did it.
Your father did it, Jake said quietly. He started this fight. He gathered the evidence. He made the sacrifice. We just finished what he started. But Lily knew better. Her father had fought his battle. She'd fought hers. Together, they'd won. Sentencing happened 2 weeks later. The judge gave Ashford life without parole on the murder charges alone. Everything else ran consecutively. He would die in prison. He would never hurt another family. "Do you have anything to say?" the judge asked. Ashford stood, looked at Lily, and for the first time seemed to understand what he'd lost. "I thought I was protecting my business, my legacy, my family." His voice was hollow. "I didn't realize I was destroying all of them. I'm sorry." The judge's expression was stone. "You're not sorry you committed crimes. You're sorry you got caught. And that's exactly why you're never leaving prison." Outside the courthouse, news cameras swarmed.
Lily gave a brief statement, Jake standing beside her. My father, Captain David Martinez, was a Navy SEAL who died protecting this country from people who would sell it out for profit. For 8 months, I thought his death was meaningless. But it wasn't. It exposed a conspiracy that was hurting military families across the country. And today, justice was served. She paused, looking at the cameras, knowing millions would watch this. To every child who's being bullied, you're not alone. Document everything. Tell someone you trust. Ask for help.
The people hurting you are not as powerful as they seem. To every military family who's lost someone, your sacrifice matters. Your service matters. Your loved ones are heroes, and their legacies live on in the people they protected. To everyone who thinks money or power makes them untouchable, watch what happened to Richard Ashford. Truth is stronger. Justice is real. And one person who refuses to quit really can change everything. The footage played on every news channel. Social media exploded. Hashtag Lily Martinez trended worldwide. Messages poured in from military families, bullying survivors, people who'd been inspired by a 10-year-old girl's courage. But the message that mattered most came from Victoria. Thank you for not giving up on me. Even when I gave you every reason to hate me. Even when I didn't deserve a second chance. You showed me that people can change if they choose to. I'm choosing to. Every day. I promise. Lily wrote back. Just 2 words. Keep choosing. 1 year later, Lily stood at her father's grave with Jake, Margaret, and Shadow. She was 11 now, taller, stronger, still wearing her father's dog tags. Hey, Dad, she said quietly. It's been a year since the trial. A year since we got justice for you. She knelt, touched the headstone. A lot's happened. Victoria finished her time in juvenile detention. She's volunteering at a veterans center now, helping military families. Tyler's support group has chapters in 12 schools. Brandon created a documentary about online bullying that won awards and changed social media policies. And me? I'm doing okay. Better than okay. I'm happy sometimes. I laugh sometimes. I'm living the life you wanted for me. She paused, swallowing tears. Commander Harrison kept his promise. He watched over me, protected me, helped me finish what you started. He's family now. Him and Shadow, and everyone who helped us. We're building something called David's Watch, a foundation that protects children of fallen service members from exploitation and abuse. We've helped 47 families so far. The number keeps growing. Shadow pressed against her leg. She scratched his ears. I miss you every day. But I'm not sad anymore. I'm grateful. Grateful you taught me to be brave. Grateful you fought for what was right. Grateful you loved me enough to leave evidence that would protect me even after you were gone. She stood up, looked at Jake. Ready? Ready. They walked back to the car. Margaret was waiting with lunch plans. Shadow needed a vet appointment. Life continued, as it always did, carrying grief and joy together, like 2 sides of the same coin. That night, Lily dreamed of her father again. But this time he wasn't sad or scared or worried. He was proud. You did it, sweetheart. You finished the mission. You kept the promise. I learned from you, Daddy. You became better than me. That's all a father can ask for. He smiled. I love you. Always. I love you too. Always. She woke up with tears on her face and peace in her heart. Shadow was curled beside her. Jake was in the guest room, still watching over her even though the danger had passed. Margaret was downstairs making breakfast that would smell like love and safety. And somewhere in federal prison, Richard Ashford was learning that money couldn't buy freedom, power couldn't corrupt justice, and the daughter of a fallen hero was worth more than all the empires built on lies. 3 years after the trial, Lily Martinez spoke at the Congressional Medal of Honor ceremony honoring her father posthumously. She was 13 now, walking without a limp thanks to years of physical therapy, wearing a dress that made her look older, and dog tags that reminded her who she was. My father once told me that heroes aren't born. They're made through choices. Every day you choose to be brave, or you choose to be safe. You choose to fight, or you choose to hide. You choose to stand up, or you choose to look away. She looked out at the crowd. Military families, politicians, journalists, people who'd followed her story. My father chose to fight. He chose to expose corruption even when it cost him his life. And he taught me to make those same choices, not because it's easy, not because it's safe, but because it's right. She held up the medal that would hang beside his photograph in their home. This medal honors his courage. But the real honor is in finishing what he started, in protecting the families he died trying to protect, in refusing to let his sacrifice be for nothing. Her voice strengthened. To every person here who's lost someone to violence, injustice, or conspiracy, your loved ones are not forgotten. Their fights are not finished. We carry them forward. We finish their missions. We keep their promises. That's what love means. That's what honor means. That's what it means to be a hero's child. She stepped away from the microphone. The applause was thunderous. But what she remembered most was Jake's expression. Pride and grief and something that looked like David Martinez looking back at her through someone else's eyes. Later, when the ceremony ended and the crowds dispersed, Lily stood with Jake and Shadow and Margaret, looking at her father's medal. "Do you think he's proud?" she asked. "I know he is," Jake said, "because I'm proud enough for both of us." "What do I do now? Everything's finished. The trial's over. The foundation's running. Victoria's changed. Tyler and Brandon are helping others. Justice happened. What's left?" Jake knelt down to her level, his steel gray eyes warm. "Now you live, Lily. You go to school. You make friends. You have fun. You become whoever you want to become. You've spent 3 years fighting your father's battles. Now you get to fight your own. The good ones. The ones about who you'll be, what you'll do, how you'll change the world in your own way." "But I don't want to forget him." "You won't. He's part of you. In your courage, your stubbornness, your refusal to quit even when everything says you should." Jake smiled. "But he's also in your joy, your laughter, your ability to forgive people like Victoria who hurt you. That's his legacy too. Not just the warrior, but the father who loved you enough to make sure you could live fully even after he was gone." Lily hugged him. Shadow pressed between them, completing the circle. "Thank you for keeping your promise." "Thank you for being worth every sacrifice it took to keep it." They walked out of the ceremony together. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and gold. Margaret had made reservations at Lily's favorite restaurant. Tomorrow, there would be school, therapy, foundation work, normal life. But tonight, there was just family. The one David Martinez had died protecting. The one Jake Harrison had sworn to defend. The one that had survived trauma and conspiracy and evil, and come through stronger.
Shadow barked once, joyful and free. Lily laughed, the sound carrying on the wind. And somewhere in the space between Earth and whatever came after, David Martinez smiled, knowing his daughter was exactly who he'd raised her to be. Brave, strong, unbreakable, free. The promise wasn't just kept. It was honored. It was lived. It was passed forward to every child who would hear Lily's story and learn that courage isn't about being fearless. It's about being terrified and doing what's right anyway. It's about finishing what others started. It's about keeping promises even when they cost you everything. David Martinez died a hero. His daughter lived as one. And that made all the difference.